Well, hey there, everybody. It is that time of the week again. We are coming down to the nitty gritty here. We just have a few short days left until the end of the regular season, and we still don't know exactly how many who's making the playoffs or not. I mean, there couple of teams, they've had a chance to clinch the last couple of days and just they haven't gotten it done. And so, I mean, you still got, the two wild card spots are still up for grabs in the West, and the number two wild card spot is still up for grabs in the East. So, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets what here in the last, this last week. But we get into the Power Performance Index, and of course, at number 32, unfortunately, it kind of has been their spot. I do plan on doing a video of where at the end of the season I'm going to look through all of the rankings here on the PPI and see who finishes where. I have a feeling this team will probably, in the averages, will probably end up finishing 32nd because they're 32nd again, and that is San Jose. The Sharks, of course, they're playing out the string. They've got some good young talent on the team. They really do. I think they're going to be a team that should be a decent team in the future. But again, this year, it's just what draft position are they going to end up with? Number 31, moving up one spot because they were last, and they end up moving up one. They lost in a shootout, but and they're another team. It's draft lottery. What position they're going to end up in, and that's Chicago. So the Hawks are 31. They, of course, they had Pat Maroon and Alec Martinez. They played their final games in their illustrious careers this year. This year they're retiring here at the end of the season. They had their last game tonight, and they both got standing ovations. 6 Stanley Cups between those two guys, Pat Maroon and Alec Martinez. Best wishes to them in their retirement, and hopefully they'll still be around the sport, and because I think they still have a lot to contribute to the sport. Number 30, they moved up one. They were at 32nd at one point, and they're still there at the bottom. And it's where are they gonna pick in the draft lottery? This, of course, I do think for Boston. I don't know if it's going to be just a one-off this year or what, but I got to think that they're going to be better next year. I have to think that. To see Boston be as bad as they've been this year, it's the kind of thing it makes you wonder, this has got to be a one-off, right? Who knows? Number 29. I got to think these guys are going to be a little bit better too. They went 2-2 on the week. They end up staying in the same spot, Nashville. So the Predators, of course, it's going to be interesting to see where they pick in the lottery this year. And again, this a disappointing year for sure, but and we'll see what they can do next year. But I mean, Nashville, they got a really good fan base, and I think next year, I think they're going to be better next year. I can't think they can't be much worse. But then, who knows? Number 28, moving down 3 spots. They went 2-1 on the week. They did lose their last game, and this is a team too. Where are they going to pick in the draft lottery? We'll find out. it's Anaheim. The Ducks, of course, they finish at 28. And, we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do in the offseason. And, where will they pick in the draft? That will be a very interesting thing to see. And yeah, I think Anaheim, another team that's going to have a bright future, I think. Number 27. Now, they've won a couple games in a row. They move up one spot, and that's Philly. Now, it's interesting. Philadelphia, since firing John Tortorella, boy, they should have maybe done that sooner, shouldn't they have? Because, I mean, you get some of these good young players that they have that, they couldn't score. Tortorella gets fired. Holy crap, they can score. Who knew? So, Philadelphia, I hope Philadelphia will be much better next season. And, hopefully maybe they'll compete for a playoff spot next season. Number 26. I kind of wonder if these guys are going to be competing for a playoff spot next year. And it's fitting these guys are right next to each other. Because at 26, Pittsburgh. So, of course, the two Pennsylvania teams are right next to each other. And, because neither one of them are going to the playoffs. But I do think next year they probably will be a little better, a little more improved. And, but, we'll wait and see we'll wait and see just exactly, where they all pick in the draft lottery. Number 25. Now, this team, they still have an outside chance of getting them to the playoffs. It's a long shot, but they're not mathematically eliminated yet. It's still possible for them to make the playoffs. Detroit. Even though I have them down here in the bottom row, they still have that outside chance of making the playoffs because Montreal has not played well the last couple of games. Montreal could have clinched a playoff spot. They could have clinched a playoff spot the last couple of days. They haven't done it. And Detroit, even though they are 7 points behind. They're 7 points behind Montreal. But they're not mathematically eliminated yet. Which again is interesting because Montreal has played 80 games, Detroit's played 79, and it's interesting that they have not eliminated Detroit yet because unless Montreal loses out, and even if Detroit wins out, that's not going to be enough for them. But according to the NHL site, they don't have the E next to their name yet. So we'll say Detroit's still got a fighting chance here. It's a very slim chance, but it's there, at least according to the NHL site. Number 24. You want to talk about a disappointing team this year. This team, you talk about, just what a fall. What an absolute fall from last year to this year. The New York Rangers, my goodness. They won the President's Trophy last year. I plan on doing a video talking about how the fall from grace from of the New York Rangers from last year to this year. I plan on doing a video looking at that and just trying to figure out how did that happen? They just, with a team that basically is the same team as last year, a good majority of that team is the same team they had last year. They won the President's Trophy last year. And this year, they're out of the playoffs. They are out of the playoffs. They've been eliminated. It's crazy. Because I didn't see that coming. But yeah. The New York Rangers, they go from the number one team in the league last year to missing the playoffs this year. Crazy how one year can make that big of a difference. Number 23. Now, I still expect these guys to improve next year. At least I would hope. They stay in the same spot. Or no, they don't stay in the... Yeah, they do. Yeah, they stay in the same spot. Seattle. The Kraken, I do expect Seattle to be better next year. We shall see what they can do. And we'll see what moves they make in the off season when it comes to free agency, what their position in the draft will be, and yeah, I gotta think Seattle is going to be a much improved team. Number 22. This team confounds me. This team really confounds me because watching them the last couple of weeks, this has been in them. Why is it they play this way when they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs? Why can't they play the way they played the last couple of weeks? Why can't they do that throughout an entire season? They'd be a playoff team. Buffalo. So the Sabres, again, where in the world, where did all this all of a sudden come from? They have played so well lately. I mean, they are 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. What again? They play this way when they're out, when they're already been eliminated from the playoffs. I don't understand. I don't understand why Buffalo can't seem to do that, throughout a season. Maybe next year. I know I'm kind of, yeah. Maybe next year for Buffalo. Yeah. We've been waiting 14 years for them to get back into the playoffs. Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Number 21. Now, this team has also been freshly eliminated from playoff contention. And again, too much inconsistency. The New York Islanders. Too much inconsistency when it came to their play and just, putting it all together. They couldn't put it together. The consistency was not there. They would win a few games and they'd lose a few. I mean, they were about a month ago. They were right there. They were right there to take that number 2 wildcard spot. It was there for the taking for them. And then they dropped 3 in a row and dropped them right out of the race. So, the Islanders, again, I got to think they're going to be better next year. But, man, oh, man, they got to get a little more consistent, a little more consistent in their play. They got to be more consistent. And yeah, I mean, that playoff spot was right there for them. And for whatever reason, they didn't seem to want it. Number 20. Speaking of a team that, again, when you have expectations, this team will always find a way to fall apart. And no, I'm not talking about Minnesota yet. I'm talking about Vancouver. So the Canucks are eliminated from the playoffs. They went from winning the division last year. They took the Edmonton Oilers to 7 games. And honestly, if Brock Besser is able to play in that game against the Oilers, it's very possible the Vancouver Canucks would have been playing in the conference final. And just like the Rangers from last year to this year, Vancouver, right where the Rangers are, they're out of the playoffs. And again, back to the drawing board. What do they do? I don't know what they do, Besser's looking like he's not going to be coming back. We don't know what the situation with Pettersson is going to end up being. And yeah, so Vancouver is just, you can't have expectations when it comes to Vancouver. Number 19. Now, they've had a decent year. I mean, I really do enjoy what they did this year. I mean, they have a decent record. You know, they've been eliminated from the playoffs, but I think the future for these guys is very bright. And hopefully in the next few months, we'll actually have a proper name and a proper logo for Utah. So Utah, I mean, good record. You know, I mean, through 80 games, they're 37, 30, and 13. 87 points. I mean, if you go and look, if I going back in the standings here and looking, I mean, Montreal right now is the number 2 wild card in the Eastern Conference. But you look at the Western Conference, Calgary would be in that spot. Calgary has more points than Montreal does. Vancouver and Utah would be right there. So, even though they're eliminated technically from the playoffs, they played well. They played well this year, and I think Utah's got a very, very bright future. I really do. Big thing for them. Let's get a team name and a logo decided. Number 18. Dropping 2 spots, even though they went 2-0-1 on the week, they're 5-2-3 in their last 10, and they're the only team that is still mathematically alive in the Western Conference playoff race. Calgary. So the Flames can still get into a wild card spot. They have 2 games in hand on both Minnesota and St. Louis. Minnesota and St. Louis have played 81 games. Calgary's played 79. Calgary is 4 points behind St. Louis and 5 points behind Minnesota. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Calgary can somehow find their way into that playoff spot. Maybe St. Louis ends up being the team that drops out. They fought so hard to get to get up the standings to get into that spot, and now St. Louis is kind of there. They've kind of hit a little bit of a rut lately, so it's still there for Calgary potentially. It's a long shot, but it's still there. The possibility for Calgary, it's still there. Number 17, the possibility for these guys to make it into the playoffs is still there. They've won 3 in a row. And again, if they just would have, inconsistent play. Columbus. So the Jackets at 17, they can still make it too. They're another one of those teams. The possibility is still there for them to make the playoffs. They have a game in hand on Montreal. They are 5 points behind. Montreal, the last couple days, could have clinched that spot and wrapped it up in the Eastern Conference. They haven't been able to do it. So it's left the door open. It's left the door open for Columbus to potentially maybe find a way to sneak in there and steal that spot. I don't know if it happens, but it's still possible. It's still possible for Columbus to pull that miracle off. Number 16, moving into the top part of the index here. This is a playoff team, but boy, I really don't think they're going to do much in the playoffs because The inconsistency has just been so much right now. New Jersey is at 16. They are, I don't know. They're way too inconsistent. This is one of those series that is basically decided. They're going to play the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. The way they're playing, I don't know are they going to win a game against Carolina? I don't know. But New Jersey is they're hard to figure out right now. They're very hard to figure out right now. They are a playoff team. They're guaranteed to be in the playoffs. But what they do in said playoffs, I don't know. Number 15. Now this team, they've had a chance to clinch a playoff spot the last couple of nights. They haven't been able to do it. They lost tonight in overtime to Toronto. Montreal, that spot is still not. It was looking like that spot was theirs, was going to be theirs. It's entirely possible. It might not be. It still is a possibility that they could theoretically get past and go from being a sure playoff team to out of the playoffs. We'll see. But right now Montreal, it's still in their hands. They control their own destiny. They got to make it. They got to find a way to make it happen. Number 14. Now, these guys, they had a good showing tonight. They went from having not a great showing to ending up pulling out a win in overtime, and it was a big win. But it still hasn't clinched them a playoff spot. They only have one game left. Minnesota. They still have not clinched a playoff spot. Even though they won, they did win, but they won in overtime. So they have not clinched a playoff spot yet. That is still up for grabs. And, right now they're the number one wild card. Will they stay there? I don't know. The team that is number 13, will they stay the number 2 wild card? And because St. Louis has hit a little bit of a rut here. St. Louis is the number 2 wild card spot right now, but it's not a guarantee because again, Calgary has played 79 games. St. Louis has played 81. Calgary's 4 points behind. 2 games in hand. But Calgary's got to win those games. Having those games in hand is all well and good, but they have to win those games and put that pressure on St. Louis. But St. Louis right now, they're number 13. Number 12, even though that dropped them 9 spots from having this little rut that they've been in. Number 12, dropping 2 spots, and again, they're a very confounding team, but come playoff time, I think they're going to be they could be very, very dangerous. Tampa. So the Lightning are 12 this week, and I think they're a dangerous team. They could be a very dangerous team. Playoffs, Tampa in the playoffs is a very tough team. They could be a very tough team. The team that they might play is the team that is number 11. And that is their counterpart in Florida, the Panthers. The Panthers, who have won 3 in a row, they're starting to look like the Panthers again. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. They moved up 4 spots. And again, they had first place, and then they lost it. And right now, yes, they've won 3 in a row, but they're currently tied with Tampa for second place in the Atlantic, but they have 2 less regulation wins. 2 less regulation wins, and they are behind Tampa in points percentage. They also have played 1 more game than Tampa. So, will Florida finish in 3rd place in the division? Will they finish in 2nd? Or by some miracle, do they find their way to winning the division? I don't know. I don't think they'll win the division, but again, I think the Panthers, come playoff time, that's when it really counts. Number 10, moving up 2 spots. They've won 2 in a row. They have clinched a playoff spot, and they get the chance to defend their conference crown, Edmonton. So the Oilers, they're in the playoffs again. It's looking like it is basically a foregone conclusion. They will play the LA Kings in the first round. And boy, can the Oilers beat the Kings again? It's a very tough thing to do. Can they do it? Well, we'll see. Number 9, dropping 3 spots. They went 5-4-1 in the last 10, 1-1-1 on the week. And again, this team has been they've looked decent. They've also looked not so decent, but I do consider them a favorite in their first round matchup, and that's Carolina. So the Canes are number 9. I do think Carolina, they're going to be the favorite in their first round matchup against New Jersey. Without a doubt, they're going to be the favorite. And because New Jersey is so inconsistent. They're just so inconsistent. But playoffs are a completely different animal. And when that series starts, we'll see exactly what happens. Number 8, moving up 5 spots. They went 2-1 on the week, 6-3-1 in the last 10. And for the first time since 2017, they are a playoff team. The Ottawa Senators. How awesome. How awesome for the Senators. And actually have them in the top row is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool thing to see. Ottawa, they are, whoever they play, which is looking like it's probably going to be Toronto, that's going to be an amazing series. That is going to be an amazing series. And, I definitely give Ottawa a good puncher's chance. If they play Toronto, I definitely give Ottawa a chance in that series. Number 7, moving up 2 spots. They've won 2 in a row. They're 7-2-1 in the last 10. And they just clinched the Pacific Division tonight. Vegas. So the Knights are division champions. They have clinched the number 2 spot in the Western Conference. So they are guaranteed to play the number 1 wild card. Who that's going to be, we're not entirely sure right now. But they are guaranteed to play the number 1 wild card. Number 6. Now, I had said this because the run they were on, they had won 7 in a row, and they got right there in the race for their division title. I legitimately thought that they were going to catch the team in first place and pass them. Then all of a sudden they decide, yeah, they're going to go 0-2-2 on the week and drop 5 straight and guarantee their first round matchup. Dallas. So I had the Dallas Stars. I had them catching Winnipeg. I really did. I said it. I'd said it in videos. I had said it in comment sections. I literally thought the way Dallas was playing and Winnipeg not playing, up to their standard, I did. I thought Dallas was going to catch them, and I thought Dallas was going to pass them. Well, I can definitely tell you I was wrong on that one. And yeah, their first round series, they are guaranteed to play the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. And boy, is that going to be a fun series. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I thought they were going to catch Winnipeg. I thought they were going to pass them. It didn't happen. And hey, I can fully say I was wrong. I was wrong on that. But a Dallas-Colorado first-round matchup, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Number 5, dropping 3 spots. Now, these guys have kind of concerned me recently because since basically wrapping up the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, they haven't played that well. They have not played that well, and considering whoever they play in the first round, there's going to be no pressure on that second wildcard team playing these guys, Washington. So the Capitals have not played well recently. They got blown out 7-0 against Columbus, and I don't know. I don't know, but I'm starting to have some doubts about the Washington Capitals right now. They're the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, but playoffs is what counts. Playoffs is what matters. And right now, I'd be a little concerned for Washington come playoff time. Number 4. Moving up 4 spots, these guys have done well the last 10. They're 7-2-1 in the last 10. And this is, I think, one of the highest spots that they've been in recent time. And it's still not a foregone conclusion that they win their division yet. Toronto. So Toronto, I have number 4. And the Leafs, of course, they're another one of those teams. Tell us what you're going to do come playoff time. Playoff time is what matters. And right now, a series between them and Ottawa, the Battle of Ontario, is that going to be a fun series. If that ends up being the matchup, Toronto-Ottawa, oh boy, will that be fun. But Toronto this week, number 4, as we get down toward the end of the season. Number 3, even though they've lost a couple in a row, they still played better. They still played good enough to end up moving up. And this team is going to be a very, very dangerous team. And it is a guarantee. This is a series that's already been decided. They're playing the Dallas Stars, and that, of course, is Colorado. The Avalanche, they're going to be getting their captain back. Gabriel Landeskog, who scored a goal for the Colorado Eagles of the AHL. He's in the AHL for a conditioning stint. He's back skating. He most likely is going to at least get into one regular season game before the playoffs. And An Avalanche team with Gabriel Landeskog back, what a boost that could be for the Colorado Avalanche come playoff time, especially when you're going to be going against the Dallas Stars. Yeah, that's going to be an unreal series. And with Landeskog back, you got to think Colorado is going to be considered a heavy favorite to potentially win the Stanley Cup. Number 2, these guys have played really well lately. They've won 2 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. And they had a big win. And I think this is one of the main reasons why I have these guys ahead of Colorado, because they had a big win against them. LA. So you got the Kings at 2. And I think the Kings, this could be the year they finally knock out the Oilers. I think this could be that year where they finally beat the Oilers. Can they do it? We'll see. That most likely is going to be the first round matchup. And if LA is able to get that home ice advantage, excuse me, that could be very, 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 very hard for the Oilers to combat that. LA is looking really good. And yeah, they're number 2. Speaking of looking really good and back where they belong. Back where they belong. They've won 3 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. And right when I thought that they were going to, because they had been not playing that great, and I literally did think that Dallas was playing so well that they were going to catch them and they were going to pass these guys, and it definitely didn't happen. They clinched the number 1 spot in the Western Conference. They are back at number 1, and that, of course, is the Winnipeg Jets. So the Jets back at number 1, and what an amazing season they've had. What an amazing season they have had. They are pretty much, just looking at the standings here, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion they are going to win the President's Trophy. They have an unreal record. I mean, they are 55-21-4. What an amazing record. 114 points, a 713 points percentage, 43 regulation wins. Amazing. The Winnipeg Jets are, again, a great regular season team. But where does it count? Playoffs. What are they going to do come playoff time? And it's not a foregone conclusion yet who they're playing. We don't know yet. It's either going to be Minnesota, St. Louis, or Calgary. Calgary still has a chance. Again, it's an outside chance, but it's still a chance. Calgary's got a chance. It still has an outside shot at clinching one of those wild card spots, because Minnesota and St. Louis, neither one of them seem to want to clinch one of those spots. So, maybe that opens the door for Calgary. We shall see. But Winnipeg back on top, where, in a way, I guess they kind of belong, because what a hell of a season they've had. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Let me know your opinions. And the season ends on Thursday, and I plan on doing an average. I'm gonna try and put together a spreadsheet so I can look at the averages at where each team finished, and put them all in columns, add them all up, average them to see where each team finished, and that should be a lot of fun to figure out. And yeah, regular season ends on Thursday, and between now and Thursday, we will finally get to figure out who exactly is going where. And yeah, this last week is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and yeah. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Who gets the number 2 wild card spot in the Eastern Conference? Is it Montreal? Is it Columbus? I can't say Detroit. I don't think Detroit can get there. I mean, Detroit's 7 points behind. I don't see Detroit getting there. So I'm going to keep that to Montreal and Columbus. Who gets that number 2 wild card spot in the East? Is it Montreal? Is it Columbus? And who gets the 2 wild card spots in the West? Does it stay Minnesota, St. Louis? Or does Calgary bump one of them out? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know your opinions. Please, if you will, hit that like button. That would, that lets the YouTube algorithm know that people are interested. Of course, subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. I would love you forever. And also hit that little notification bell. That will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. Also, share this video with everyone that you know, with friends, family, with people that you don't know. And if you know people that love hockey and are huge hockey fans like I am, let them know about the channel. I would love to have you all here. Every hockey fan in the world, I'd love to have you all here with me. And yeah, so let me know your guys' thoughts on this. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. I will see you guys later.